Welcome to the latest installment of a series that we like to call That Leslie Sound.
In this series, we're going to attempt to cover every Leslie pedal on the used and the new market. If you want to know more about what pedals are in the series, click on the card above to watch the series opener.
And if you want to know what That Leslie Sound is, click on the card that will take you to a YouTube playlist that you'll hear many famous songs that use that Leslie sound. Welcome to the series. Today, that Leslie sound is being made by the Line 6 Roto-Machine, and the Beard's going to let you know what it sounds like.
Alright, so that was the Line 6 Roto-Machine, run in stereo. So if you weren't listening with headphones, it's worth putting them in to see what that sounds like. And so now we're going to get into it. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, yeah. Right? Like,
I find we've said that about all of them, but they do. They sound good.
They sound great. And this one's no exception. And we talk about having to get rid of some of them, and every time we put one on, I'm like, well, I don't know about this one.
It sounds good.
This one sounds good. This one does. It sounds really good. This is the Tone Core line from Line 6. And just to mention it quick, not the demo or anything, but the interesting thing about it is the module, so the brown and the knobs actually pop out of that.
Right.
So the idea was you could buy the housing, buy several different modules, and kind of flip them in and out. And so there's distortion modules and delay modules, I think. The delay module is very popular, too.
And for some reason, because they did that design, they built it like a tank.
It is incredible.
You get carpal tunnel trying to pick it up and put it down.
It weighs a ton.
So we might keep this one because it'll cost us $1 million to ship it to somebody if they buy it. So we might keep it for that reason alone.
The shipping is probably more than the pedal. But pretty straightforward. Has some really nice features on it. So it does have a fast and a slow speed knob on it, and you can switch between those on the fly. It has a drive knob on it and has a balance knob on it. So the balance is taking you from the low end rotor side to the high end on the horn side. You have a little toggle switch here with 3 settings. You have a slow, medium, and fast. That's the ramp speed. So you can't like dial a ramp to a certain thing, but it's really, I think, pretty much what you would want.
How much tweak do you need there when you? Yeah,
I actually kind of like it. That you just pick which one you want.
Right.
And then you'd get used to where it is, and so that having some kind of mental idea of how fast it's going to ramp lets you have that idea of where you want to kick it.
Right.
If you're going into a chorus or something. And then over here we have 3 models. We have the Leslie 145, the Leslie 16, and the Leslie 122. We've talked about the 16 and the 22 a lot in this series. They tend to be the ones that are modeled. 16, no horns. The 122 adds the horns to it. So what is the 145? Your guess is as good as mine.
It appears to have 2 horns, little different tonal characteristics. We're not sure if it's the cabinet size. There's something different about it that our research wasn't super clear. But you'll hear a difference, at least on this pedal. Whether it's mimicking it exactly, we don't know. But there is a marked difference between the 3 settings.
Right. And I know that the 145, I think, was supposed to be more universal. Easier for keyboardists to move it between organs, whether they had an internal speaker or not. Things like that. Which I'm not sure how that would affect the tone for us. But and it also, there's a 147, so the 145 is a little bit smaller cabinet.
Right.
But what that means for us. We're not 100% sure, but you'll hear it.
Yeah.
So what we've been doing is jumping right into the Leslie riff in mono and letting Pat play through that. So did you say you want to maybe...
We can start wherever you want. I think if we start on the 122, which would be where I don't have it, it would be, we believe that you played stereo 122 in the intro.
Okay.
So maybe we go mono 122 to start.
Fast and slow.
Yeah.
Then I'll switch it to the 145, fast and slow. And then I'll switch it to the 16, we'll do fast and slow. When I switch it to the 16, you might see me bump the balance knob a little bit.
It's a little darker. It's a little, it needs a little top end to it because it really is just the one lower rotor, right?
Right. So on the 122 and on the 145, the balance knob is going between the lower rotor and the horn.
Yep.
I think it acts more like a tone knob when you get to the 16.
Yeah.
Do you follow that? There'll be a quiz at the end.
Do we want to give him a pass with nothing?
So, right. And then, we can talk about this now, too. So, to go between fast and slow, we'll just simple touch the foot pedal. Now we're in the slow.
You can see the light.
Touch it again. We're back to the fast. To turn it on and off,
you got to mace it really hard.
You really have to hammer it. So, with your hand, it's kind of hard, but on the floor, I don't think it'd be a
The
problem.
one cool thing about this is when it's not engaged, it at least lets you know where you left it. Did I leave it on fast or slow? So, it's bypassed right now. But that's telling you that when you engage it, it's going to go to the fast. Right. So it's wherever you left it last, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So anyway, okay. So
I'll give you one time around.
Yeah. We'll start so Hampton Supro, Fender Hot Rod Deluxe, a little reverb. This is what it sounds like. Neck pickup.
So the 16 is a cool sound, but I always feel like when you come off of the 122 or the 45 with the horns, it's like, oh, where the horns good too. So we're not going to lie, we like the 122, the 145 with the spinning.
Yeah, well, for sure, because I like the balance of it. And so some of our pre-pushing the knobs are yammering. I personally, on this particular pedal, I like the 145. Other pedals that just have the 16 and the 122, I graduate towards the 122. So again, is it that this is accurately replicating both of those? I don't know, but this particular pedal, I would probably use it personally on the 145.
So let's do that. We'll go back to the 145. And I do apologize because it was on the slow ramp there for a while. So when I switched to the 122, the 145, I didn't realize, I thought it didn't go up. So I had to push the button a couple times. But I think you can still hear all the different variations there. So let's do this. We typically look at the fast and slow speeds, so we'll take the slow all the way to slow, the fast all the way to slow.
And play the other, not the regular riff.
Right, and then you'll go through, I'll do the slow speed, bottom, middle, and all the way up, and then we'll kick it over to fast. And we don't know if they're going to meet, overlap, or there's going to be a gap. We'll find out.
All right.
So they meet. I felt like they met. Like when we went from the fastest slow to the slowest fast, I didn't feel there was a difference.
So we've talked about this before, and I've done it in terms of circles. Like a lot of times, if this is the encompassing the slow and this is the fast, they touch, they meet. Other ones maybe overlap, and some of them there's a gap. So this is one that we feel like where the one stops, the other one picks up.
Right. And interesting, because when you get up to noon on the fast, you feel like, man, if I go above that, it's going to get ridiculous.
Right,
and some of them get ridiculous.
Yeah.
It speeds up, but it never gets to that, like, almost...
Super chorusy. Like the little spring behind the doors that you bump sometimes goes brrr, like it's like that fast. And it's
almost
it
like
would be unusable. Unless you're Josh Scott, who likes super quirky things, it's unusable at that point.
Right. So this one on fast, maybe actually just a hair under noon is where we tend to settle in on it. So I think show them the blend knob, and we can do the same thing. Off, noon, full. Do we do the same thing for all three of them?
Sure, why not?
Okay. So
this has no secondary function, so let's go crazy with the actual functions it has.
Let's start with the 16, go to the 122, go to the 145. So we're going to go numerical order. And we're going to start with it all the way to the left.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I think of like the beginning of some kind of Pink Floyd album.
Yeah,
or
right.
something.
Right, and then it kind of comes in. And we always joke about it being the AM thing or like the megaphony kind of thing. I really felt like when you did that, I could feel a little difference in the throb in the 145 and the 122. Like the low end, and I wasn't looking at the pedal, I apologize, but like one of them was super throbby on that really muffled sound that you might not use that muffled sound, but I felt like you could really hear the characteristic of the drum, to me. But that was me trying to keep switching fingers because I keep tearing my hands up playing that same thing. I was a little lacking focus. Ramp speed? Drive?
We could do ramp, and then we'll do drive. So if we start on the fast...
let's see, what do I want? Pretty much immediate, as you would hope, right? Because that's your fastest you can do it.
Medium. So
I think I like the medium. Mm-hmm. Again, not playing it in the context of a song, but not that we're asking this right now. But I like the 145 set the way you have it with the medium ramp. That's my order, please. That's
If
how
you're
I
in
like my
a
steak.
really slow song,
Yeah.
the slow might be good.
Right.
The fasts,
Yeah, it depends on what you want, right? Like, I think the medium is...
yeah. Because I think there is something to that transition, that building. Like, if you're playing in context and you're playing with a group, and there's something about not just going boom to boom.
Right.
So, and that is it, minus the drive knob. So, do you want to do drive on slow or fast?
Well, and real quick, I say real quick, do we want to just give a little flavor of the drive with the 3 speakers? Just, what would the drive sound... Because I'm curious, what's the drive sound like on the 16?
All right, do you want to run it the whole way up on 1, and then we'll put it where we like it and go through the 3?
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I might play something different for the sake of my fingers. It sounds terrible, but... Very subtle until noon, and maybe even all the way till 1.
It's there, but it's subtler.
Yeah, and then it gets more drastic, but not crazy.
Never gets crazy.
No.
I like it a lot.
And I left it on the neck pickup. If I were doing that, I might put it on the bridge and dial back some of the tone, but like just for consistency's sake.
And definitely on the slow. Let's slow maybe about a little under 3. And then I can hit the 3 different.
All right.
So we'll go 16, 122, 145.
For me, in the room, the 145 is money. Like, I don't know, again, sometimes when you go to rip these down and you listen, it sounds very different with the mic being this close to the speaker. But in the room, the 145 is, I think it's great. I really like it a lot.
Yeah, it's surprising.
Right. It's the one pedal that has that, and I'm like, oh, I like that.
Right. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the pedal.
I love it. I mean, I love the way that it kind of does everything. And I like the way that it's kind of like, you want fast, medium, or slow? Which of these 3 speakers do you want? Do you want drive? On the ones that have the horns. Do you want to blend it? You want it fast, slow? Boom, done. Like, it's over. No mic, not that it's bad, but no mic placement, no spread, no some of the other features. It's just like, let's just get down to it.
Some very straight ahead sounds that are good.
Yeah.
They're good.
Right. We've heard a lot about this pedal.
Yeah.
Picked it up at the Philly Guitar Show. Didn't disappoint.
All right. There's actually somebody at the Philly Guitar Show that said it was his, out of all the Leslies he's tried,
Right.
It was a pedal board manufacturer. Yep. He said he had this one, it was favorite.
Almost agreed to maybe swing by this way on his way through on some of his travels, but we were able to pick one up later that day at the show.
Right.
Because he had one on his board, right, as a demo for his pedal board. He's like, I'm not selling that one. And then, like, 3 booths down was the pedal guy
He was selling
that sold it. Dave, I think it was?
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
So I think that's it. Mm-hmm. So more coming in the Leslie series. The never-ending Leslie series. More to come. We are releasing that content. Not just that content, but other stuff. We have some interviews coming out. We have some other pedals and some field trips and guitars. Lots of stuff coming. So, new content every Wednesday at noon, every Saturday at noon. We've been trying to do the live premieres. So, if you want to catch one of those premieres with us and be able to chat with us as it's going on, we'd love that. Hit your bell for notifications. Please subscribe. Stop by Instagram, Facebook if you want to see what's coming up. We kind of put that stuff over there. Mm-hmm. And I think with that...
I'm PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding you no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear. That's how I'd end a show in a stadium. For the stadium tour that's never coming. That's nice.